me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got it filled up.
All right, welcome back to the Juggernaut Show, everybody. And today I'm here to give you my NXT Battleground 2025 review. Yeah, it's been a long weekend. It was a long weekend of professional wrestling. You know, my life consumes of wrestling. That's what it feels like these days. Because, you know, we had Saturday night's main event. I reviewed that. We had Double or Nothing. I got that review up. If you haven't watched that, definitely check that out after you check this out. Yeah, but this is the final show that happened during the weekend, NXT Battleground. Also, if you're new to my channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button to help out my videos in the algorithm. And also, go follow me on all my social media platforms. Go follow me on X and Instagram at the True JSB, which you can see right down there. And all my other links are in the description below. So, NXT Battleground. Overall thoughts on the show. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was good. You know, it was decent wrestling on here. Like nothing that really. I mean, the main event was actually pretty surprising what they did. But I mean, and to be honest, I mean it was surprising at the same time it wasn't. If that makes any sense. But I mean it was decent stuff, and then nothing that like blew me out of the water. So let's go waste the time and let's get started with this review. So the show opens up with the women's North American Championship on the line. We had Sol Ruka defending the title against Kalani Jordan. This was a really fun match. To be honest, I don't think it was better than their match that they had last year at Heat Wave, because Heat Wave, like that was like one of the first ever like scoring off in the ring. So you knew what these two women could do. Like it was very fast paced action. You know, a lot of flips that they were doing in the match. There was a nice X factor that Sol Ruka hit in the match. Even saw Kalani Jordan pull out a nice Spanish fly. I mean, this was a very back and forth match. Very fast paced action, like I said. And of course, in the corner of Sol Ruka, you had Zarya. Zarya ended up getting involved. She got caught by the referee. The referee kicked her out. Like, oh, maybe this might cost Sol Ruka here. I mean, it cost her for like a few seconds, like because she was Sol Ruka was distracted. But I mean, Sol Ruka ended up retaining. She hit the a top rope, or she hit the top rope soul snatcher, which that was cool seeing her hit it from the top rope. A lot of near falls in this match. I mean, this was a good way to kick off the show, and I also like the new attire or the new way Kalani Jordan was looking. I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, I thought it was a very solid opener and good way to kick off NXT Battleground. All right, and then the next match here. To be honest, I really wasn't looking forward to this match at all. But to be honest, it was better than what I expected. It was better than what I expected. So we had the Calling versus Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs. I mean, Hank and Tank. They're very over. They do their honk honk. People get behind that a lot. Even saw Izzy Dame trying to get involved. The Calling, they try to do a lot of cheating. Yeah, I'm just not really a big fan of the Calling. I mean, I don't mind Shawn Spears, but like, to be honest, Shawn Spears, his career, like ever since, after he did the like whole Ty Dillinger gimmick, and then he went to AEW as Shawn Spears. To be honest, his gimmick, I mean, his career really hasn't gotten back on path, which is kind of sad to say, because he's a good talent. Brooks Jensen, never been a big fan of him. Like, he's just so generic. And then Nico Vance, I'm not a big fan of him. I mean, it was okay for what they were doing. This match, I mean, this really wasn't my cup of tea here. Um, the Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs end up winning the match here. They do like their assisted like power slam. It was okay for what it was. I mean, also we saw the return of Anamura, the Japanese wrestler that was tagging up with Josh Briggs because Izzy Dame, she was trying to bring in a steel chair, but Inamura stopped that. So and helped out Josh Briggs and Hank and Tank to get the win. So yeah, it was okay match, nothing to like go crazy about. But yeah, we'll move on to the next match. And then a match that I mean, I don't know. It's like I'm into Tony D'Angelo, but like there's times like I don't know, like this match here, this like the psychology here like wasn't connecting. I don't know what it was with Stacks and Tony D'Angelo. Also, this seems like something I would see like on a Godfather movie or something like related to that. And I don't remember like a whole lot from this match here. I mean, it's very personal. Maybe they should have had like a stipulation with this match or something. Maybe that would have made it more entertaining. But I mean, Stacks he ended up winning the match. Which that's what I was predicting. Maybe, and who knows, is Tony D'Angelo going to go to the main roster soon? I would think so. Maybe they'll move him up to SmackDown because Tony D'Angelo, he's like one of the he's been there since the NXT 2.0. So it's definitely time for him to get called up to the main roster. We saw Luca Crucifino. He came out, kind of distracted Tony D'Angelo, and then Stacks he did the low blow and did a running knee to Tony D'Angelo, and that's how Stacks won the match. And Tony D'Angelo go like, "Whoa!" It looks like he was seeing ghosts there. He was very surprised to see Luca Crucifino because apparently he got like left in the desert or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. There was just something in this match that wasn't clicking with me. I don't know what it was, but Stacks ended up winning the match, and we will move on. Okay, this is one of my favorite matches of the night. We had La Primera, Stephanie Vacour defending the title against the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace. This was an awesome match, but I don't think it's like one of their best matches from either one of these girls. But no, I mean this was some pretty good stuff here. Yeah, you had a lot of nice power from Jordan Grace, hitting some nice German suplexes in the match, doing some nice, you know, um, big powerful moves, which are pretty nice. Stephanie McCoy, people love watching her, especially when she does her, of course they had to tease us with the whole Devil's Kiss. And when Booker T goes crazy goes crazy for the Devil's Kiss and all that, which is fun to watch. Yeah, but both girls were, like I said, they were working real well together. They know each other pretty good. It was interesting how Stephanie McCourt got the win. She didn't hit her SVB. She ended up hitting like a modified version of like a spiral tap to end up retaining her NXT Women's Championship. Also, they were kicking off each person's big moves and stuff in the match, which was cool. But yeah, I mean, this was definitely fun stuff. A lot of these matches were like were around the same length, also like about 15, 16 minutes. So each match, got some good amount of time on it. So yeah, I mean, it was a 5-match, but like I said, it wasn't either of their best matches. So yeah, like I said, Stephanie McCoy retains, and we'll move on. Next match we have is the NXT Championship on the line. We have Obafemi defending the title against Miles Bourne. This was some fun stuff here. Obafemi, he really dominated Miles Bourne a lot in this match. And I gotta say this, even though Miles Bourne lost, he got some new fans here. For people that I mean, I really haven't seen much of Miles Bourne that much. And also on on NXT, he said that he's part deaf, and that's why his speech that's why he talks a certain way. And also, you could kind of see a kind of some tension between Miles Bourne and the rest, or him and the rest of No Quarter Catch crew with what's his name, their leader. You can kind of see a little bit of that tension. But yeah, they Miles Bourne, he definitely got some fans here, and I can definitely see why they call him like a Randy Orton, kind of like a Randy Orton Jr. Because like there's moves like when he did that scoop slam, he just reminds me of Orton in some ways, and like the way he like moves his body and all that. I mean, Randy Orton can never like fly like he does because like he can really hit some nice moonsault. He hit a nice moonsault in this match. Um, he really showed a lot of fight in this match. Obafemi ended up having to hit 3 of his power bombs to end up putting away Miles Bourne. So like I said, I gotta give props to Miles Bourne here. I mean, we knew he wasn't gonna win, but hey, this doesn't hurt him losing here because he can go up from here. So which is a really good thing. It seems like they're gonna have him split on his own. Try to become a single star. So props to WWE here. I thought this match was really fun, but yeah, Obafemi retained. And we will move on to the next match. All right, in the main event, we had Say His Name and He Appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yes, Joe Hendry was defending the TNA World Championship against Trick Williams. Whoop that trick. It's cool seeing the TNA title defended on a WWE PLE. It's really cool. Of course, we got this partnership going on with TNA and WWE. I think it's helping benefit TNA and stuff because it's helping more people go like, hey, well, what is this TNA stuff? And it's cool. People are wondering about it. Excuse me. People are wondering about it. And then it's nice to explain to someone who doesn't know about TNA, or you got to tell them like what it is, which is really cool. So it's pretty cool stuff. I think this partnership has been pretty good so far. I mean, there probably could be some negatives with this partnership, but it seems like it's been pretty decent so far, and it's something different for Trick Williams to do. But yeah, the match was like it started off really hot. Joe Hendry he did like a nice plancha over the top rope at the beginning of the match. And he could really move really well. And then the match kind of started to die down a little bit, like middle of the match, but then it picked right back up. You saw a lot of Booker T. He's a big fan of Trick Williams because look like Trick Williams, he did the spin and run. He goes like, oh yeah, do it, brother. He goes like, and then so he did. Trick Williams did the Trick-a-Rooney, the spin-a-Rooney. I said that Trick-a-Rooney. He did the spin-a-Rooney in the match. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, you can see some, how Trick Williams kind of looks up to Booker T, hitting a lot of the same moves as him, hitting the bookend. Even saw Joe Hendry, he hit a rock bottom at one point. There was one point where they did a Uranagi through the announce table, put Joe Hendry through the announce table. Also, we saw some cheating from Trick Williams. He brought in the TNA World Title. The referee tried taking it away. And the title belt ended up getting like it was still in the ring. And then Trick Williams he hit a not a jackhammer, but he hit a flapjack. He hit a flapjack onto Joe Hendry. And ended up his face ended up landing on the title belt, and then Trick Williams went for the trick shot, and he got the trick shot onto Joe Hendry, and 1, 2, 3, we got a new TNA World Champion. Trick Williams. So I gotta say that's pretty cool. This is a big moment here. This was a big moment for Joe Hendry. I'm not gonna say the bigger moment was when Joe Hendry faced Randy Orton at WrestleMania, because I got some like a whole lot of eyes on the TNA there. Like, oh, Joe Hendry, who's this guy? For people don't know, for people that don't know who he is, and also the Royal Rumble moment. Joe Hendry has been taking a lot of Trick's moments, because he took Trick's spot at the Rumble. He took it. He was at WrestleMania, even though he lost to Randy Orton, but still, he's on WrestleMania. So Joe Hendry has been doing quite a bit of stuff, and Trick Williams has been jealous of that. But yeah, we got Trick Williams as the new TNA World Champion, which is cool. I like that there. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do on both NXT and TNA. But yeah, that was NXT Battleground. And also, I want to talk a little bit about NXT last night, which was for May 27th, 2025. So Trick Williams, he's also going to be defending his the TNA World Championship next week. So yeah, he's going to be defending it next week on next Tuesday's NXT against Mike Santana, TNA wrestler. I thought they might have been saving that for maybe like Slammiversary, but we're getting it now. Who knows? Who knows how they build this up, or who knows who Trick Williams faces at Slammiversary? But yeah, so that's who Trick Williams is going to be facing for his first title defense. Also, we ended up getting a new North American champion in Ethan Page. He defeated Ricky Saints, which was a very brutal match. He took this nasty cutter on a chair, like on the legs, not the legs of the chair, but like the crossbar. Like that was a pretty nasty spot. And then like Ricky Saints throughout the match, he was like selling a neck injury, selling a throat injury. So I thought that match was really cool. But the big thing that was really surprising. So they had a match that got set up. It was at NXT Battleground. It was between Stephanie McCoy and Jacy Jayne to happen on Tuesday night for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm like, oh yeah, Stephanie McCoy, she's just gonna retain. But no, guess what? I'm not making this up, guys. We got a new NXT Women's Champion in Jacy Jayne. Yes, this is not AI here. This is real. Jacy Jayne is your new NXT Women's Champion. You had a lot of shenanigans going on in this match last night. You had Fatal Influence. You had they were getting involved. Fallon Henley, she hit like a 619 away onto Stephanie McCoy, and then Jacy Jayne, she did a like a rolling elbow strike onto Stephanie McCoy, and we got a new NXT Women's Champion. I'm like, was it supposed to happen? And then like Mike Rome, like he was like hesitant, like wait, he was very shocked. A lot of people were shocked in the crowd. Jacy Jayne becoming NXT Women's Champion. I'm very surprised about that. It's very surprising that she won there. Because like, oh no, Stephanie McCoy is going to be winning. Because like, if they have her lose right now, then probably she's going to be going to the main roster. Which there has been some reports that both Stephanie McCoy and Jordynne Grace are going to be getting called to the main roster. Apparently, Stephanie, she's going to be going to Monday Night Raw, and Jordynne Grace, she's going to be going over to SmackDown. Also, how do you guys feel about this if they be moving them up? Because I gotta say, this might hurt NXT a little bit, because they need some like women that are already built up there, or like that are can work down there really good right now. And to be honest, Stephanie McCoy and Jordynne Grace are one of the two main ones that can really go right now down there in NXT. So this might hurt NXT a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it looks like Stephanie McCoy, she's getting moved up, and so is Jordynne Grace. I know there's goods and there's pros and cons to this. But yeah, this was very shocking. This was very shocking. I was going to do my review yesterday. I'm happy I'm waited till today to do it. But yeah, Jacy Jayne, new NXT Women's Champion. Very, very shocking. I was not expecting that to happen on last night's NXT. But yeah, go down in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought. And also, what's your thoughts on Jacy Jayne winning? What's your thoughts on Stephanie McCoy and Jordan Grace getting called to the main roster? And did you guys like NXT Battleground this past weekend? Let me know. Let me know. Go down in the comments. And we're going to do this all again, in the middle of July, July 12th and 13th. We'll be having a big wrestling weekend. Because on the 12th, we have NXT Great American Bash. It's going to be going up head to head with AEW All in Texas. Which, to be honest, the best show of this past weekend was definitely Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing was the best. And if you're going to say that NXT was the best, get off here. No, NXT Battleground was not the best. The best show of the weekend was AEW Double or Nothing. Even though it was a real long show, that was definitely the best show of the weekend. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna do it all again because the 12th we're gonna have NXT Great American Bash and AEW All in Texas, and then later on that night we're gonna have another Saturday night's main event, which I feel like that'll be the third Saturday night's main event of the year, and then on that Sunday we're gonna have WWE Evolution, the second women's pay-per-view for all women's pay-per-view for WWE, which is going to be pretty cool to see. I'm excited for that. But yeah, we're going to do it all again. All these wrestling shows. Like I said, my life consumes wrestling. That's all it's been. It's just wrestling every day. But like I said at the beginning of the video, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to help out my videos in the algorithm. And also go follow me on X and Instagram at the True JSB. And also you guys can go follow me on TikTok as well. The Juggernaut Show. That's my TikTok. I'll put that in the description as well. But yeah, that was this was my NXT Battleground review, and also talked a little bit about NXT from this past week. But yeah, this is your boy Juggernaut saying peace out, and I will catch you guys in my next video. So, peace out, guys.